Hello, you guys. It's Elizabeth from Elizabeth's Oracle. Welcome to my channel and this report. It is about the Sun through Cancer in 2017. Going to give you an overview of what's happening this cycle. Thank you if you are new. Welcome back if you are a regular viewer. Here are the start times for each section. So let's jump in and enjoy. Okay, so I like this formula where we go through each of the charts and we look at the cycle from the beginning to the middle and then the end. So that way you guys can learn a little and you can watch the planets actually progress. So it's not just theoretical. And then I'll give you a little of my insight in terms of what I see as an overall trend or where I'm seeing the energies show up for clients and the alignment. So without any further ado, let's jump into the first chart, of course, which is going to be on the day that the Sun goes into the sign of Cancer. On these charts, what you're going to see in the blue, the bright blue, is going to be all the cardinal signs. In the darker blue, your mutables, and the yellow on these charts are your fixed. So that way it kind of, you can look for your patterns that come with that. And of course, the Sun going into Cancer. Cancer is our cardinal water sign. So we're dealing with both the energy of moving things forward and we're dealing with the watery emotional issue. And of course, Cancer is about security, safety, family, and home. So a lot of those themes are going to come up. And when the Sun goes in there, Mars is pretty far into the cycle. So those two are back there in Cancer, and I'm trying to look at charts and notes and talk to you guys. So the Moon and Venus are back there in Taurus, and Mercury is at that very late degree of Gemini. And what I wanted to point out about this particular chart, I like that Venus is right at home in Taurus for this part of the cycle. We are going to have those first planets, Venus, Mars, and Mercury change signs. In fact, Mercury is speeding up so much it's going to change signs twice. Let me slow down. So we are going to see those movements. But just where this cycle starts, there's some real calm or an opportunity for calm. If we think of the Cancer, the crab, he retreats into that shell. And you guys know that I'm a fan of Venus and Taurus, because I just feel like it's another grounding energy. And with the moon right there, it's interesting because the moon is, of course, Cancer's ruler. Now, let's move on to chart number 2. This is literally just 2 days later. You see that Mercury has, in fact, moved into Cancer. So look at that nice alignment of planets in Cancer. Just nice grouping. I feel like they're all nice and early degrees there. You see that this is a moon at 2 degrees. Again, when the degrees are lower, they run from 0 to 29. When they are lower, this gives us a more gentle expression of the energy. And so, again, we can really come into alignment with the, being home, secure, gentleness, all those nice things. Venus, again, in a nice spot in Taurus, just right in the middle of it, holding a grounded energy. And of course, I do need to point out that things won't stay quiet, forever. So kind of enjoy this new moon thing. Any, work or prayers, affirmations of things that have to do with security, home, or family, good time to set those kinds of intentions, because when we get to the next chart, I want to show you the July 4th chart. And I'm so sorry for the, I noticed that on the last video, Mike really picks up that paper shuffling, so I'll try to mellow out on that. But on this July 4th chart, this is when Venus changes signs and comes into Gemini. So again, I think that's a nice place for Venus. She's keeping it sociable and everything like that. But as we start to see the planets in Cancer start to come into those stronger degrees, well, then some more things come into play. So there I want you to step back and look at this chart and see all the other, or note all the other planets in cardinal signs, because now the planets in Cancer are going to come into a bit more play with them, because look at the what do we have here? We have Jupiter right in the middle there. We have Capricorn right in the middle. And so as these planets build towards the full moon, the planets in Cancer, we're going to have an opposition to Pluto. And of course, the sun is in opposition to the moon when the moon is full. So that's a full moon. In fact, let's look at that next chart because it's just a couple days later on the 8th of July. See, that brings it a little more into focus. You see that moon and Pluto are right there. I mean, just within a degree of each other. So this means there's a really strong connection. And the rule of thumb is when the degree is within 5 degrees, that's when you really look for the connections. Now, again, whether they're supportive ones or ones that can be a little tense, as the squares and oppositions are, we look for that degree thing. So in this chart, we're seeing that. And we are also noticing by the time we get to this chart, we have Mercury has already moved on into Leo. I had said it was moving really fast. Remember, it started very into Gemini, been through Cancer. It's like it's swimming, It's just going right through that. I think it's like a Phelps kind of, mood, just swimming through all that water. And so then it's in Leo. Now that's going to be important because there is a lot of energy building towards Leo, but big full moon because of the Pluto connection. So also as these planets in Cancer progress, let's look at this next chart. We are going to see not only a strengthening of the planets in Leo, we see Mars enter Leo in this chart that I want to pull up as the last one in this series for you, just to look at where we started and where we're going. When we get Mars involved, we know there's a lot of energy. We have Mercury adding excitement to, and of course, by this late date, the sun will be close to going into Leo itself, connecting with the North Node. But as I had pointed out, we have a couple of Leo eclipses happening during the Leo cycle, one of which is going to be a full eclipse, total eclipse, at the end of that cycle. So when the sun's in its strongest degree, moon's in a very strong degree. And so, that's going to be a big deal. So I want you to notice pretty much from July 5th when the Leo energies start to build up. And I want to, talk about that. I'll do that in this second section. But the idea for you as we walk through these first charts was to see, where they started, where there's this sort of build up, which I think that July 4th through July 8th time is kind of big because planets are changing signs and because we build up to a full moon. But this cycle gets pretty strong and leads us into the Leo energy. So let's talk a little bit about, the meaning of it, okay? All right, so a couple things that I've noticed in readings pretty much for several months. So I just kind of want to throw this out there and hopefully it's helpful to some of you. This year has felt like we have 2 choices at any point, and obviously sometimes we have a lot of choices, but in general I would say there's an energy of contraction. This could be connected with Saturn, and we have an energy of expansion. I keep calling it the abundance wave or the generosity wave or the wave of, what if you believe there's more than enough? What if you, held that person high that you may be in a relationship with, or thought the best of them, assume the best instead of the worst kind of thing, or you trusted, the process of life. And it brings us back to this cycle because Cancer is all about trust. That little, it's emotional, it's highly psychic and sensitive, moon ruled. And of course it retreats into the shell when it doesn't feel safe to sort of, get that bearing, but you can't move forward if you don't get out of the shell et cetera, et cetera. And so what I like about this cycle is we build into this big Leo finale. And I know I'm a Leo, so I'm trying not to overdo it. But Leo teaches us courage, and Leo imbues us with leadership. So, we have this incredible alignment or groupings of planets, best way to say it, where we can really have the courage to move forward, because with so many planets and all these charts in the cardinal signs, and again, we have, enough of a mutable energy still clearing things out, but I really think that big full moon back in the Gemini cycle was the last super harsh of that mutable stuff we've been going through for so long. I mean, we'll have a little bump of it in September and the last in the Sagittarius cycle, but like I've been saying, we're pretty much finishing up with that, and we're in this space of new things coming online, new opportunities opening up, and with the sun rolling through a cardinal sign, I think some of that will present itself to you. So the whole thing is going to be, can you be courageous? Can you be courageous for love versus fear? Can you be optimistic versus pessimistic? People are going to laugh at me saying that during a Cancer video, but Leo's the optimism. And so I think it's a big cycle. I do feel like there will be an opportunity for more gentleness. Like, it doesn't have to be as trying to think of even gentle ways to say that cataclysmic as and overly stimulating and exciting to a overly strong extent, which we had in Gemini. It's Mercury ruled his nervous system. It's just, it's on, and it was hitting all those connections with Uranus, spurring it on. So I feel like, again, we're hitting a nice cycle coming in that will bring us into a place where we can move forward. We're going to have a lot of emotional support, and we're going to have a heap of courage that is going to get a lot stronger. Look at the Mars in Leo, and I think that's about it for what I see and where it's going. So let me just get a little bit to the spiel part, because I have a present for you. So just stay tuned. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Elizabeth from Elizabeth's Oracle. I do a radio show with my friend Christy Ayala, and we talk about the astrology. I cover some things that, after I record the video and go, oh, I meant to mention that. But she also gives angel messages. So those of you feeling drawn to connect with the angels, Christy is a great resource. And, every month, she has new messages and all of that. And for the Cancer cycle, I want to try this because I've been playing on the back end with all that technology during the Gemini cycle with my website. So I figured out how to work the coupon button. And so if you use the coupon Cancer 2017 between now and July 22nd, because I'm pretty sure that's the day that the sun goes into Leo. So now and July 22nd of 2017, you will get 10% off any reading. Just put in that code. There's also a free newsletter at elizabethoracle.co. All your information is always respected. And I think those are all the announcements. So again, I'm wishing you guys a very peaceful cycle. Oh, wait, there is one more thing in the planet. Sorry about that. When I was saying there's some energy to draw from, remember that Neptune is making a nice trine to everything in Cancer. So we have this watery ability, to both be more attuned to our intuition, to psychic messages, etc., and just that intrinsic awareness that we don't always have to be able to verbalize to just know, and how to move with it. So it's a nice combination. Cancer has both the intuition and the initiation kind of energy. So, all right, I'll stop talking. You guys have a nice time, and I'm getting ready to do some traveling. I will see you when the sun heads into Leo and have some pictures to share. So we'll talk to you soon. Lots of love, lots of blessings. Thank you.